Hey, hold up. Before we continue on the episode, I just wanted to ask you quickly if you've heard of Anchor. If you haven't heard of Anchor, it's the easiest way to make podcasts today. Let me explain. First of all, it is free, completely free, and there are creation tools that allow you to record and edit the podcast right from your phone or computer. And the best part of it is you don't have to do anything else. Like you just upload, like you make your podcasts with the tools available to you and you upload it, and Anchor does the distribution yourself. Like it distributes your podcast for you so you can be heard on different platforms. You can be heard on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and many more. And with the amount of audience you have, the amazing thing, you can make some money from your podcast. And it's everything you need. Anchor is just everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. You don't have to go to different studio sessions and look for places to take your recordings to, or your work to. Your projects are just there for you and you manipulate it how you want. And today you can download the free Anchor app. Just go right now, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Thank you. So let's get back to the session. Afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another segment of Impromptu Chinwag with your host, J Boy. The weather out here today is quite grey and not very warm, but I'd say that's not a bad day for it to be a day in the second week of September, after all. Now, today we'll be talking about a generally known subject, and I'm pretty sure many of you are familiar with it, and many might have gotten lessons, teachings, lectures, and some people might have gotten remarks, several remarks on it. Yeah. I want to talk about choices. Today, on this segment, we want to talk about choices. And I don't want to talk about it in the way of teaching you how to make choices in life or any of that stuff. No, I'm sorry. If you're expecting to hear lectures on how to make the right choice in your life and any of that, you'd be disappointed. Rather, I want to talk about it more in an easy way. Well, when I say easy way, like in a light way, to let you know something, maybe perhaps see it in a different way, and as not something that we have to kill ourselves over. There's been great talks about how choices affect our lives, about how our choices in life influences the outcome of our future or our life, and these are very well true. These, of course, they are true. They are very correct. In every day of our lives, we make choices in one way or the other. We always have the final decisions, because the final decision in anything at all is always ours. We're that individual that's going to decide on what to do at the end. Even for some of us, I think that we don't make choices and that we go with the flow. I have people, I've had friends that say, I like the flow. I think that also is making a choice, because in the end, you're the one choosing. Yeah, even when you say you go with the flow, that also is a choice. In the end, we decide if we're going to go with the flow or make something different happen. That's funny, yeah? Yeah, but it's true. In everything, we always choose. We still have to make choices, and that's it. We choose. So one fact of life that we all need to acknowledge is this: that regardless of our initial circumstances, we define our lives through the choices we make. Some of these choices we make on our own, and others by simply going along with the choices of others. In either event, you are the one who decides. The only time we never got to choose at all was when we were toddlers. maybe below the age of 3 perhaps, because then we never understood much anyways, and the things we had were automatically given to us. Even the things, say from the things we already had, from the genes of our parents, we got our hair color, skin color, nose structure, eyes, and etc. But also we also started getting gifts from parents, from family members, the first few clothes, the first toys. Then we just didn't choose, we just didn't know anything about it. But believe me, as soon as we get to the age of perhaps 3 for some people, depending on individuals, we already start making choices. We already start choosing which dolls to play with. Yeah, we start choosing which dolls to play with, the color of clothes that catches our attention, the sounds that we dance to, and the process of choosing. That process of choosing gets to grow with us. As we grow, we manifest this. It's just an automatic attribute in every individual. We start choosing. Then we start choosing the kind of friends to hang out with and all of that. But I wouldn't want to get into too many details to get the picture I'm trying to paint. Now, as we grow in life and go through the process of life, it starts weighing on us. The choices we make starts reckoning, and we get more scared, and sometimes we begin to judge ourselves. We start asking ourselves questions if we made the right choice or not, if the place we are now is as a result of the choices we've made before, and we start going back, tracing paths and all of that. That especially if things don't go as we plan them to. When things don't go as we plan, we start asking so many of these questions. And that is where I've been trying to get to. And we do not, and we never know what the outcome of our choices will ever be. We have to make wise choices. That is true. And we have to always consider carefully whenever we have to choose, especially if the choices, the things we have to choose from, have to do with big steps in our lives. But whichever one eventually becomes our choice, we have to make it work, move with it. We don't have to automatically think that our choices has made things right. We have to we have to make that choice work, because there's no guarantee that it is the best. And now I know what I'm saying might kind of sound like it's connecting with my initial topics on when we talked about no regret. But I had to talk about this because I got a comment that pointed at the choices we make. I wanted to quickly jump into it. Now, further to hit this point, because I want this to be very brief, I want to give you a quick short story that probably might also help you to get the point of what I'm trying to say in this segment. Now, a farmer's horse runs away. The neighbor says, "Bad luck." Then the farmer says, "Maybe." Then the horse comes back, brings a second horse. "Wonderful," neighbor says. "Maybe," the farmer says. Farmer's son takes a ride on the new horse, gets thrown, breaks his leg. "Bad luck," neighbor says. "Maybe," the farmer says. The next day, the military drafts all the young men except the farmer's son. "Wonderful," neighbor says. And "Maybe," farmer says. Now, this short story, I don't know how to explain, make the point, like explain it clear. Now, in this short story, because you just don't know which one is the right choice, Now you're looking at the horse that comes back with the second horse. The son takes this horse and rides on the second horse. At first, when the horse ran away, the neighbor thought it was bad luck because a farmer has lost his horse. But then this horse comes back with another horse. and it's like more like a better story, and the farmer is happy, and the neighbor says that's wonderful. But then what happens? The son takes the second horse on a ride and breaks his leg, and that was like bad luck. But then um, because the son broke his leg, he couldn't. When the army came to draft the youth, he couldn't go because his leg was broken. So that kind of worked well for the farmer, that he had his son at home, while the neighbor couldn't have his at home. So in conclusion, we never know what our choices would bring. All we can hope is that we make the smartest and the most reasonable choices, because in the end, nothing is simple. That is just the point of this whole podcast. I mean, this whole segment today. Without question, we are all unique, and we are all one of a kind, with different physical characteristics, personal interests, feelings. We have different things that define us as individual. But however, it's not these physical and emotional attributes that define us. They are not the things that determine the enjoyment and effectiveness of our life, but it is how we choose to use them. So therefore, understanding the role that choices play in defining our life is the most important thing to learn if we want to fully develop the life we have been given. Now, I also want to leave you with this unique quote from Ayn Rand. He says, "Every man builds his world in his own image. He has the power to choose, but no power to escape the necessity of choice." So thank you guys for your support, and don't forget to leave your comments, rate the podcast on all the platforms, anywhere, and as well, we also receive voice messages. If you want to leave us a voice message, your comments, they're all very well welcomed. Now we have gotten to the end of yet another wonderful segment of Impromptu Chinwag. This is your host, J-Boy, and cheers.